The second lunar eclipse of the year is on November 8th, and that's what we talk about today. Hello everybody, I'm Tina Chaudhary. Welcome to my channel and a very warm namaste.
Aham Brahmasmi.
So before I talk about the lunar eclipse, I think my viewers are owed an explanation of what happened on my last video that I did regarding the November predictions. So I had talked about a giveaway for a free reading, and suddenly, people were putting the comments, and one scammer, spammer, whatever you want to call them, started telling everybody that they won and that, they were rerouting it to some weird WhatsApp number. And so I've been watching my channel very closely because, I kind of was feeling, since the transit of Rahu, that something was going to happen to my channel. I'm an astrologer, so kind of felt that something would happen. And so I've been watching my channel very closely. Every hour I check in to make sure everything was fine. So I caught these comments very quickly. And so as soon as they started to come, I started to report these comments and the scammer to YouTube. So all these hundreds of comments where this person was telling people they won were started getting reported to YouTube by me immediately and getting removed as well. But in the meantime, whoever was responded to the fact that they won thought they won. And so even though I'd said on my video that I'm going to put it on video, I'll show you who's won on video, but that's fine. It's okay to get confused. So I started to report them. Now when I saw that it was getting pretty bad, the only option I had at that time was to disable my comments because I knew that it was going to get worse. And some of you viewers are the sweetest people. A lot of you started to email me on the email that's on my screen and say, this person's doing this and it's routing to a WhatsApp number or whatever. And that's what helped me. So I immediately also called my local law enforcement cybercrime unit, and I've sent everything to them. So I had to go to the local police station, and meet with the cybercrime officers. And you guys, the viewers that sent me all the backup and the pictures of everything, the WhatsApp and numbers where this person had actually downloaded a picture of me from my Instagram and made that the handle of the WhatsApp. So you guys, that's what you guys were thinking, that it was me. So I had to send all that to the cybercrime unit of Southern California, and this person's now been reported. But unfortunately, I did have to disable the comments because I didn't want any more of my viewers to, get scammed by this person. So the cybercrime unit has been working on it. The comments on that video are disabled. So the good part is I have record of who put their name in to win the free giveaway. So I'll still pull out the video and let that person know. In the meantime, let's not do any more free readings, giveaways on that video. And so if people are still desperately wanting to be in the giveaway and they didn't already send me a comment, you can send it to my email. A few people actually did that. Very smart viewers did that. So if you want to do that, you can put it on you can send me an email and I'll put your name in, no problem. This happens to a lot of YouTubers. It's not uncommon. I personally know a lot of YouTubers in the past where scammers and spammers come in and, they try to disturb, our content. So this world is made up of evil people as well as, but it doesn't stop me. So like I said, I've reported it to the cybercrime unit and I'll let them do their business. In the meantime, we're still going to do what we want to do is, help you guys and make videos that are helpful to everybody. Okay, so we're going to move on with our lunar eclipse video. So the lunar eclipse, which is the second lunar eclipse of the year, is going to be on November 8th. Now, the eclipses always come in pairs. So there's always a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. Now, either one can come first, but they're always come in pairs and they're always 2 weeks apart because one of them will happen at the dark night, which is the night of new moon, and the other one will always happen on the night of the full moon. So this time, November 8th is a full moon night, and that's when the lunar eclipse is happening. So it's on November 8th. Now, it's the eclipses always happen in the zodiac signs where the Rahu and Ketu, which is the north node and the south node, are placed. So in April, Aries and Libra are where Rahu and Ketu are placed respectively. So since then, all the eclipses are going to be in either Aries or Libra, and that's till the next year. I think September or October is when they finally move out of there. So all eclipses are going to be in the zodiac signs of Aries and Libras until September, October of 2023. So this lunar eclipse is going to be in Aries because that's where Rahu is stationed. And so the lunar eclipse November 8th in the sign of Aries, and it's in the Nakshatra of Bharani. So talking about the details of the eclipse, so it's going to be visible in Asia, Australia, North America, South America, and then parts of Northeast Europe. So you can see the map right here. See, the dark U is where it's going to be visible. It's a total lunar eclipse. And so the time that it starts, it's going to be a little after 1 a.m., 1:10 a.m. California time. So that's when it's going to start, and so an hour or so after that is going to be where it's the total lunar eclipse phase is when it's going to be. Now, solar eclipses is not a good idea to view them because it's very harmful for your eyes, but the lunar eclipse, you can view them. It's you know, there's nothing wrong with viewing a lunar eclipse. As far as the impact is concerned, you can the impact of a lunar eclipse, whether it's visible in your local area or not, the impact is on all of us. As far as the impact of a lunar eclipse, you know, it's felt regardless of whether you can see it from your local or it's visible from your local area or not. The impact of a lunar and a solar eclipse is to everybody, the whole world. The moon and the sun is for everybody. So the eclipses are felt, or the impact of the eclipses are felt by everybody. The solar eclipse just happened on October 25th, and now the lunar eclipse is on November 8th. So the 2 weeks time between the two eclipses is when we feel the maximum impact of both the eclipses, actually. And so, you know, you have to be extra cautious. So if you haven't watched my solar eclipse video, please make sure you watch it, because even the impact of the solar eclipse, even though people feel, well, it's gone and done with, it's not. The impact now starts to happen actually after the solar eclipse has passed. So it's the impact of a solar eclipse is for at least 6 months. Of course, the impact gradually goes down as time passes to the solar, you know, to the 6 months, but really it is felt a lot in the 2 weeks before the between the two eclipses, and then the first 3 months after a solar eclipse, you really feel the impact of that. If somebody hasn't noticed yet, you can see a huge bruise and some bruising on the side of my face. So the solar eclipse wasn't very kind to me either. So I got hurt pretty badly, which is why this video got delayed. I was supposed to make it last weekend, but my face was pretty badly hurt. So I'm sorry that I'm making it now. But so again, if you haven't watched the solar eclipse video, please do watch it, and then and you have to almost combine the impact of the solar and the lunar eclipse to kind of get an idea of both, the impact of both the eclipses. The one thing I do want to point out is that, you know, eclipses are natural events. You know, they happen at the minimum twice a year, if not more, and so they're nothing to be scared about. I don't think people should fear the eclipses. They should just be aware of the eclipses and the impact that they can have. I don't think they have drastic impacts on people as much as they do on, you know, the world in general. So I don't think people should fear eclipses and, you know, think something drastic is going to happen. You know, they do have an impact, but not really as much as sometimes people fear them. So don't fear the impact. Just become aware of it and what kind of an impact they're going to have on you on your mind, and then just kind of manage through it for the first few days or around the time of the eclipse. But they're nothing to be feared about. So talking about the lunar eclipse, the lunar eclipse is obviously about the moon. So the moon represents our mind and our emotions, our feelings. It's all about what you're thinking. So the mind tells you what to think, and then that's what you know, kind of guides your actions. So whatever my mind tells me to do is what my actions will then result. So that's why the moon is a very important planet. It's probably one of the most important planets because it's your mind telling you what to do and actions to take. So when we have a lunar eclipse, one of the things that happens to our mind is it definitely impacts our ability and our emotions and our ability to think. So it tends to make people, it has different impact on different people, but mind definitely gets impacted in some way. So there's people that can get restless, emotionally restless. There's people that get, depressed around the eclipse. I'm just talking about a week before the eclipse and a week after the eclipse. But it's more around the time of the eclipse, the 2 or 3 days before and after an eclipse. So let's take a look at the astrology of this eclipse. So the eclipse is happening in the zodiac sign of Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is retrograde at this time. So a retrograde Mars obviously is a challenging position. It's also in the Nakshatra of Bharani, and Bharani is ruled by Venus. Venus is a combust right now, and so also Venus is in the Nakshatra of Jyeshtha, and Jyeshtha is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is retrograde itself. So you can see how this the eclipse and all the related planets are in a very challenging position. None of these planets that are involved are in a very good position. They're either retrograde or they're combust. Let's talk about the nakshatra Bharani in a little more detail. So Bharani is ruled by Yama. Yama is the god of death. So it doesn't mean actual death of people, although it could mean that, but in this case it doesn't mean that. What it really means is the death or the ending of certain things and the starting of new things. So it really means transformation. So this lunar eclipse could be transformatory for some people, an emotional transformation. So you could be thinking along certain lines. Emotionally, you could be one way, and then this eclipse is going to make you think through things, because the lunar eclipse rules your mind, the moon rules your mind. So you could be thinking one way, and then it's going to change your way of thinking. So this lunar eclipse is going to be very transformatory from an emotional standpoint and from your thought process standpoint, the way you think through things, the way you look at things, especially relationships. So because the planet Venus is so involved, and because of the impact of the solar eclipse, this lunar eclipse really means a transformation in relationships. It also means an emotional transformation of sorts. So you really need to pay very close attention to your thought process and how you view your relationships. Also, Venus rules your finance. So a lot of people may be thinking about how to change their financial situation. What are the changes that they can make in their financial situation? Can they make reinvestments? Can they change the way they do their savings, or just handle their finance in general? They may be worried about finances. We all are worried about our finances at all times. But this lunar eclipse is going to put the focus in a very different way. They could be depression related to finance. They could be very much emotional outbursts related to finance within relationships as well. So if you put finance and relationships together, it's never a good combination. This is really an emotional combination. I think most couples fight over finance. So I think that's the things that we need to be very watchful of. One of the things I'm going to put in my predictions for a lot of the zodiac signs, and especially for everybody, is to not make any financial changes, investment decisions, investment changes during this lunar eclipse time, which is a week before, which is, I'm sorry, it's a little late already, but for even a week after the lunar eclipse. It's not a good time. The mind is confused, and the mind during a lunar eclipse is never able to make good decisions, any kind of decisions, whether they're relationship decisions or finance decisions. This is not a good time. So if you're going to make decisions regarding job opportunities, financial opportunities, investments, you need to just kind of delay them as far as possible and kind of wait for at least about up to 2 weeks after the lunar eclipse has passed, and then make decisions. Rethink your thought process. Just kind of rethink your options and then make the decisions. During the lunar eclipse, no life-changing decisions should ever be made. The temptation is great because you think you need to do this. So, and that's what the mind does. It kind of plays tricks on you because of the lunar eclipse. So there's a shadow going over the moon, which is the shadow going over your mind. So that's kind of how you have to view it, where the moon is your mind and this eclipse is a shadow. So it's the shadow going over our minds, our emotions. So we're really not in a really good place to make good life-altering decisions. So you should delay all of those. Talking about Bharani also, that, like I said, is ruled by Yama. Some of the other significations of Bharani are, Bharani relates to travel and moving things from one thing to another. So, and in the past, when I talked about Rahu and Bharani, I did say transportation, traffic congestions, disasters related to traffic will happen during this transit of Rahu in Bharani. And now with the eclipse going on in Bharani, there could be this could also make it worse. I do know that in the news in the last few months there were several traffic related mishaps that happened. So now in this eclipse in Bharani, we need to take care that we all drive very safely, because Bharani rules traffic. Bharani also rules, because I said moving from one thing to another, rules the supply chain. So there could be hurdles in the supply chain, there could be obstacles, glitches in the supply chain in the world. So over the next couple months, over the month, 2 months, whatever. So that's what could also possible in the world. Now, because Mars is involved and it's retrograde meaning something from the past. So this war that's going on, there could be, some other implications of it could intensify, because the mind is going to play tricks on whoever's involved in the war. They're going to get really bad advice. Jupiter being retrograde, they're going to get bad advice, and the war could take an ugly turn as well over the next couple of months. So that's something that I could possibly predict. Also, like I said, relationship advice. Make sure you watch your relationships. Make sure you don't get into fights. Mars also rules real estate and land. So war is always over your land and always over your territory. So that's why I said that the war could intensify. Mars rules real estate. This is not a good time for the real estate industry. I think it's really going to slow down, and it's in the past it was doing really well, but I think that this is not a good time for real estate industry as well, because Mars being retrograde and being impacted by the eclipse as well. So it's probably not a good time for the real estate industry. One of the other predictions, the general predictions for the world that we could possibly make, is that natural disasters, like I said, Mars rules land. Rahu, is involved. Obviously, it's always involved in the eclipse. So fire-related disasters related to land. Moon is water. So all kinds of natural disasters always kind of tend to happen when there's an eclipse. So this time there's a high chance of that happening. But also, man-made accidents are very prone. Bharani is, like I said, is a fierce nakshatra. It's is a cause of accidents. I already mentioned traffic, but I also mentioned where people move from one to another. Now, I did come across the news a couple of days ago that there was a couple of bad accidents that involved a lot of loss of life in India, where the bridge collapsed. And so that's when people moving from one to another, that's the impact before the lunar eclipses, because Bharani rules from moving from one to another, and so the bridge is what takes you from one to another. So that collapse can is definitely an impact of this lunar eclipse. So again, watch carefully, watch your driving very carefully, and Bharani does rule loss of life. So we have to be careful. Now, I'm not trying to scare you. I don't think thousands of people will die or anything, but when there's a disaster, there's chance of loss of life is there. So the directions that are most likely to be impacted by this lunar eclipse, from as far as the challenges are concerned, as far as weather patterns, as far as accidents, as far as natural disasters are concerned, is that Aries rules the northeast direction and the nakshatra Bharani rules the west direction. So these could be in your city, could be in a country. So basically these are the directions that get a little more prone to something challenging happening. So now I do believe that the Indian tragedy, which is, I'm very sorry that it's very tragic that happened, is actually happened in the west part of the country, which is the direction ruled, Bharani ruled, which is why I said, that tragedy happened because right before the lunar eclipse is happening. So kind of a week between the two eclipses. So very tragic, but a lot of loss of life. So, these are the things that kind of happen between the two eclipses. And the one last prediction is because, like I said, Venus rules all the material things in life, and Venus definitely rules the food that we eat, all the resources that we have. So the chance of the shortage of resources, the shortage of food supplies especially, is rather great over the next few months, during the winter months especially. The next 2 or 3 months is high. Also the inflation, because when something goes in short supply, you can almost always know that the inflation prices go up. So there's going to be a chance of shortage of food supplies, shortage of basic items that we need for our daily lives, and then inflation to go up in several countries, especially in the countries where the eclipse is visible. So I think North America is already seeing that. I can see that. And Europe, I think, is going through some turmoil, and some countries in Europe are already seeing this as well. But shortage of food supplies and inflation, increase in prices of the day-to-day products that we use, especially food, can be predicted as a result of this eclipse as well. I'm going to move on to predictions, but for people that watched my last video, I had showed them that these are the beautiful roses that I got for my Diwali gift from this company called Rose Forever. They're fresh roses, but they stay fresh for a year because they've been preserved with natural oils and natural pigment. So I've had them for 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks, and look, they're still saying. Surprisingly, they're still as gorgeous as ever. Look at that. So mine were orange because Marina from Rose Forever had sent me these for my Diwali gift, and I had shared them with the viewers that saw that video, but I'm showing them to you again. They're just as gorgeous as ever. They've been sitting in my living room, and now I had offered a coupon to my viewers based on this company saying your viewers can get a $25 off coupon, and they come in all colors, all shapes. But this company is also now having a sale on their website, and she's extended the coupon for the $25 off. So the details are going to be in my description box. And she's saying it's Thanksgiving in North America. We have Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. So the website has a major sale going on, and a lot of my viewers did order these from her, and they're thrilled to get them. So she's seen such a wonderful. The viewers are beautiful. They got a lot of these. They ordered a lot of these. They're very happy with this product, and so she's offered to extend the coupon to my viewers. And she said, they can have the coupon, the $25 off, for another month. So if you haven't ordered them, you still have a chance to order them for your Thanksgiving tables and for even Christmas. So you can send them to whoever's hosting you for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, and then they get to enjoy them on their table for a whole year, because these will last a whole year. They're just stunning. The details of how to order it, the website, is in my description box. The coupon code is also in my description box. And she also tells me that this company has a sale going on now for Thanksgiving, Christmas. So even though they have a sale, they have a large percentage off. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a high percentage off, and you get the $25 off, just so you can all enjoy them for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm moving on to predictions now. I'm just going to do very short predictions for each sign. This time the predictions are going to be based on your moon sign, because we are talking about a lunar eclipse. But if you want to listen to your ascendant sign as well, by all means do that. Sometimes both are effective as well. If you like the video, give me a like, and please do share this with friends and family. Aries, this eclipse is in your first house, and the first house denotes you, yourself, your body, your own mind, and your own head, and your own thinking. So this eclipse is going to be something where your own body feels a little lethargic, your mind is confused. Some of you might actually be a little depressed, and you may have some mental confusion as well. Some of the Aries people might actually also have a slight bit of a headache on that day, because don't forget, this is all happening in your first house, and it also rules your head. Try not to make any decisions that around the time of the eclipse, because your mind's going to be a little clouded, a little bit foggy. Don't make any life-altering decisions around the eclipse. Wait for at least a week after the eclipse. Because the solar eclipse happened in your 7th house, this rules your relationship. So try not to get into fights, arguments, or fights with your spouse especially. Also, The food that you eat is going to be very important. You want to take good care of your health, drink lots of water, and make sure you're eating very healthy, and try to do meditation, and try to make sure you're as emotionally healthy as is possible, and don't get into fights, like I said, or try to take care of your body. I think that's the best thing that you can do, is try to take care of your own body with meditation and drink lots of cold, fresh water. Taurus, this eclipse is happening in your 12th house, and the 12th house is a house of loss and expense. So this eclipse is going to want to make you spend a lot of money. It's going to give you some impulsive spending, the tendency to do that. So you need to guard against that. It's going to make you want to splurge your savings on whatever it is that you don't even need, and then you're going to regret later. So watch your money very carefully during this time. Make no financial decisions, and it's not a good time to invest in something new. Basically, all financial decisions you need to pause and maybe wait for another week till the eclipse effect clears up, your mind is more clear, and then you make any financial decisions. The 12th house is also the house of sleep, so your sleep might be a little disturbed because you may be very confused on how to handle finance. Second house also, Taurus also represents eating, so make sure you're eating very healthy, because this eclipse can also mess up your digestion a little bit. Long distance travel is also represented by the 12th house. So if you are traveling long distance, make sure that you're safe, and make sure you also take everything with you. Otherwise, it could just be a wasted travel time. If at all possible, delay your travel for another week. Otherwise, if you have to, just stay safe and make sure you have everything with you. Gemini, this eclipse is happening in your 11th house. The 11th house deals with desires, gains, wish fulfillment, and your friendship circle. So Gemini is going to be very preoccupied emotionally with all these things. They're going to be worrying about how much money they can make and how they can make it fast. So they're very preoccupied with their financial situation and how they can make more money. This is not a good time to make any financial decisions, investment changes, investments. You need to wait for a week till the lunar eclipse impact passes, and then you can do all of your financial planning after that. It's also not a good time to have any emotional outbursts, emotional conversations with your love life, with your children, and definitely not with your friends. That's very prone to when the eclipse happens in your 11th house. You can have some emotional issues with your friends, and if you have an older sibling, with them too. So kind of watch your emotions, keep them in check, and no financial decisions at this time, and stop worrying about your finances. The lunar eclipse is going to make you a little more preoccupied and a little obsessed with financials. Wait for a week, let it pass, and then make all the changes you want. Cancer, this eclipse is happening in your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of career. This lunar eclipse is going to make you emotional at work, or about work, or within your co-workers. An emotional disturbance may happen where you feel like you're not getting what you deserve, or you may feel, like I said, an emotional feeling of being down at work, where you feel maybe you're not appreciated, or you may feel that people are ganging up against you. Something emotional may happen at work. You just need to let it pass. Don't take it so seriously. This is just a lunar eclipse that's happening. You may also feel that people are ganging up against you. There's people that are working against you at work, and basically enemies at work. Just let the lunar eclipse pass. Don't take any decisions right now. This is definitely not a good time to start a new job or chase new opportunities, because your emotions are clouded at this time. Let the time pass. Let people do what they want to do. Don't take them seriously. Wait for a week. When your mind clears up, you'll be in a better position to think about what's really going on at work, and you'll be in a better place to make a decision regarding work at that time. Leo, this eclipse is happening in your 9th house. And the 9th house is the house of your guru, your dharma, your religion. Above all, it's the house of good luck. And this eclipse is going to make you feel like nobody's supporting you. Your luck is not on your side, and you're looking for support, and you're all alone. And this is not the time to test your luck, that's for sure. Don't make any investment changes, money decisions, financial decisions, and think that, luck will support me, I'll take the chance. So definitely don't take any chances with anything at this time. Don't make any career changes at this time. Don't take chances with your career, with your bosses, your relationships. Not a good time to take chances with anything, because like I said, the ninth house is a house of luck. So this luck is a little challenged at this time. The other thing is, you may feel you're emotionally, you may feel down, like people aren't supporting you. And this is only the effect of the eclipse. So try to try to stay away from negative thoughts. The ninth house is a house of, the support that you get from the divine. So at this time, it's the very good remedy for my Leo people is to do meditation, but above all, stay close to the divine. So all of those Leos that, are somewhat religious, they do their prayers, or they have a guru that they believe in, or something, the divine that they believe in. It's a wonderful time and a wonderful remedy to practice it. And practicing it helps you overcome this emotional distress that you may go through. The emotional distress that Leo goes through at this time is just a feeling of abandonment, or a feeling of like, nobody loves me sort of feeling. And the minute you start connecting to the divine and start meditating, do mantras, any mantra, you can do any mantra, any prayer that you feel connected to, changes that energy around you. It's not the fact that you don't have good luck or that it's not on your side. It's the feeling that you don't have it on your side. But God will, and the divine is always on your side. So make sure you do your prayers. Make sure you stay close to the divine. Make sure you manifest that energy very, very well and in a positive manner for you. Also, take good care of your dad if you have him in your life, and tell him you love him. And make sure you protect that relationship at all times. Don't have emotional outbursts with your dad or your gurus or your teachers or your coaches. If you're in that situation, where you are in an environment where you're learning, or you have a guru or coaches, don't have an emotional outburst with them. Otherwise, stay close to the divine and manifest the luck. And don't feel down, and don't feel like you're not supported. It's just that eclipse playing tricks on you. Virgo. This eclipse is happening in your 8th house. The 8th house always indicates, something sudden that happens, or obstacles and struggles, challenges that come up in our life. And for Virgo, this challenge is going to be, it's from a financial standpoint, where you're going to be stressed, you're going to be troubled by finance. Also, maybe some relationships, because the 8th house does indicate all kinds of struggle. Venus is challenged, so it's going to be your money and your relationships. Not much left to be challenged about. So Virgo is cautioned not to make any long-term financial or important financial decisions at this time. Also, don't take chances with your relationship at this time. Kind of keep your head low. Don't have emotional outbursts with anybody, any relationship in your life. Don't make emotional financial decisions at this time. Don't make changes in your financial portfolio or structure at this time. But above all, you really do need to take care of the diet that you're following, or the food that you're eating, because there's a good chance this lunar eclipse messes up your digestion. So watch what you're eating, take good care of your diet, watch what you eat, because your health may also be a little tender at this time, meaning depending upon what you eat. So eat healthy, stay healthy, watch your diet, no financial decisions, changes at this time. Don't take chances with your relationships. Nothing else is left. Libra, this eclipse is happening in your 7th house, and you just had a solar eclipse in your own ascendant house. So between these two eclipses, this is a time of highs and lows for the Libra people. The Libra people are going to have, a lot of emotional disturbance. Like I said, highs and lows, happy one minute, sad the next. And now this is a time for emotional outbursts a lot in your relationship. So the 7th house denotes your spouse, your business partner, and your general dealing with the public. So you need to really control those outbursts that you're going to have or feel like having with your spouse, like I said, with your business partner, and general dealing with the public. Just like when you're going out and you're dealing with people, this emotional outburst is very likely. So you need to keep control over it. The 7th house is also business partnerships. So this is not a good time to invest in any more in business, or put money in, make financial decisions relating to your business. So kind of be aware of that as well. The other things is disturbance with the spouse. I've already mentioned that in my solar eclipse for Libra people, but I'm mentioning this again because this is also, make sure you don't have any emotional outbursts, confrontations with your spouse. And like I said, with the, general public, dealing with the general public as well. Libra really needs to have control all these impulses and urges that they're going to have regarding either combative urges or emotional outbursts with just about everybody in their lives, especially with their spouses, because that 1-7 axis is very active because of both the eclipses. So I think I warned them enough in my solar eclipse. I'm not going to, keep saying that. So definitely don't make any financial decisions if you have a business. This is not a good time for that. Also, like I said, control the urge to get into it and start fights with everybody and have emotional outbursts at everybody, or even aggressive behavior. So you need to control all of that. So it's a testing time for Libra. Good luck. Scorpio, the eclipse is going to happen in your 6th house. The 6th house has challenges to it. The health challenge is in the 6th house. The co-workers are represented by the 6th house. So definitely you need to take very good care of your health, especially things that you eat, the food that you eat. You need to be very cautious of it and make sure that you drive very carefully. Also, I've already mentioned that at the beginning of my video. Make sure you drive safely. If you're traveling, you drive safely. Also, anything that happens with your health, make sure you get checked up immediately. So, you make sure you take good care of your health if something's happening. A good workout regimen actually takes the negative energy of the 6th house away. So if you don't have a good physical workout regimen, now's a good time. You make sure to get, absorb that negative energy that the lunar eclipse will have in your 6th house. Having a good physical workout regimen is very, very important for Scorpio at this time. The other thing is conflict in the workplace, because the 6th house denotes the place where you work or your workplace. It also denotes your co-workers. So emotional outbursts with co-workers is possible. Try to control that, because this is not going to be good. The 12th house is indicated. So the 12th is aspected, I should say. So 12th house indicates endings of certain, and Bharani, the Nakshatra, also represents endings. So Scorpio, it's not a good transit for Scorpio in the sense that, they could have emotional outbursts, they could have a testing time with their coworkers at work, and all of a sudden, they may end their job, or they may say, I'm leaving my job, or, just end relationships as well. So the 6th house is not good. So the 6th house is not good for marital relationships. It's not good for relationships with coworkers, which is why it's a testing time. The other thing the 6th house is not good for is finances, because it indicates debt, loans and debts. So make sure you control your spending. Don't make any financial decisions that can get you in debt later on. Like, it's not a good time to get loans or debts to buy things. Like, it's not a good time to buy houses or buy a home and get debt as opposed, associated with that. So that's not a good time either. So Scorpio needs to be really careful as far as this eclipse is concerned, because of the 6th house activation. So health is an issue, workplace relationships are an issue, marital relationships are an issue as well, and excess spending, loans and debts are also an issue for Scorpio because of this eclipse. There was one viewer that commented on my last solar eclipse that said, I spent all my energy cautioning Libra, and then I didn't have any energy left for Scorpio. So here you go. I'm talking about Scorpio for a long time, so I hope the Scorpio people are happy. Although I do need to caution the Scorpio people. I always caution people I need to caution. So Scorpio needs to be cautioned. Got several factors associated with the 6th house. So you make sure you balance your emotions and you don't have all these emotional outbursts with your spouse, with your coworkers, at work, with your bosses, for sure not. And also you control your spending and you don't get too much in debt because you're going Christmas shopping or you're trying to buy expensive things. This is not a good time for that. So good luck. Sagittarius, this eclipse is in the fifth house. Now, normally the fifth house is the fun house, where it represents the nice things in our life, like our children, our love life, having fun, and generally our mood upliftment, where we feel happy. Now, when the eclipse goes into the fifth house, it takes away all the positivity of that house, where generally the fifth house means happiness and having fun. And now here's Sagittarius thinking, I'm not having fun. Their mood will be very down. Some Sagittarius may actually feel depressed. The emotional outbursts and the emotional issues may come from the relationship with children. Also, relationship in the love life may be challenged at this point, where they feel down or they may feel distress in those relationships, so they need to watch that. The other thing is that if you're a student, and the fifth house does represent education, if you're a student, there's going to be complete lack of focus. You're going to be very distracted, because the mind, you need to focus. You need a good mind to be able to focus. So as far as students are concerned, they're going to lack focus completely, and they're going to be completely distracted because of the mind and the lunar eclipse playing tricks with their mind. So students are going to have to make an extra effort to make sure they're focused on their studies. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good time, especially if you're taking some competitive tests, exams, or whatever. You need to pay special attention and make sure you do whatever you can to focus. Now, what can you do? Definitely drinking lots of cold water, meditation, and also, some mantra. You could do some mantras to calm your mind down. So that's definite remedies that you can do if you are in fact a student, or you do in fact need to concentrate for whatever reason. So Sagittarius, get the upbeat up. Generally Sagittarius tries to stay upbeat, but this lunar eclipse might play a little bit of tricks on their mind. Capricorn, the eclipse is in your fourth house. Now, the moon in general rules the fourth house because the moon rules your mother. So for Capricorn, you need to take good care of your mother at this time. So, also there might be some emotional disturbance related to your mother, some conflict related to your mother, or some attachment related to your mother. So you need to take good care of your mother. The fourth house also relates to your mental happiness, your mind, the domestic happiness at home. So all of these are going to be a challenge for the Capricorn people, where they feel they're mentally very stressed. They're under some emotional stress, or something that's really worrying them. So it's this time for worry for Capricorn, stress, mental fatigue. These are the things that Capricorn can go through at this time. Like I said, it rules the mother also, so you have to take good care of your mother, and don't get so stressed out. Work on your stress factor. It's just the eclipse, it passes quickly, so work on that. One of the things that you can do is definitely drink lots of cold water, and meditation is always a good thing for the fourth house, I'm so sorry. And meditation is good. Mantra practice is very good as well. Again, try to control, like I said, you need to control your mind, and the only things that really helps control the mind is meditation, mantras, staying close to the divine, and just asking for general blessings. Aquarius, this eclipse is in your third house, and the third house rules your confidence, your courage, your ability to do things, to start things, and your dedication and the effort that you put into things. And this eclipse is going to challenge all of that. Aquarius is just not going to want to do anything. They're going to lose the confidence and the courage to do things or to accomplish anything. So they're going to feel very low on energy at this time. The eclipse is going to make them feel like, why do something? It's not going to work out. That kind of defeatist attitude. No, I don't want to put the effort. It's not going to work out. The third house also rules siblings, relationship with siblings, relationship with neighbors. And so emotional outbursts with your siblings and neighbors is definitely possible. Some challenges in relationships with your siblings is possible at this time too. So kind of, manage through that. The other thing is that Aquarius is not the kind of zodiac sign that just kind of is low on energy. They're taskmasters of the zodiac. They're ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is direct at this time. So this is a very temporary phase for Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius, don't worry about it too much. It's going to be very temporary. Soon enough, you're just going to get up and get back your energy and start doing it. So don't get worried too much. This is not very bad for Aquarius like it is for some of the other signs. So Aquarius, just a low feeling of energy, down on the dumps, I don't want to do it, I'll do it later, that kind of stuff. But Aquarius is very strong-minded, so they'll overcome it very quickly. And so it's a temporary thing. Aquarius, you'll work through it. Try your best to eat healthy, drink lots of water, and then you'll work through this as well. Pisces, this eclipse is in your second house, and the second house represents a lot of important things in our life. Well, definitely finance. So please don't do any financial decisions at this time. You're going to be very emotional about your financial situation at this time, or things related to finance. You're going to be very emotional about it, where you're like probably disappointed, or feel inadequate or frustrated with it. So that's definitely an impact on the Pisces people. Second house also represents your family, so you could have some emotional situations or lack of you may feel like your family is not supporting you. So second house is family. You may feel emotional with your family. Situations with your family come up where they feel maybe they're not supporting you, they're not understanding you. What is going on? Nobody loves me, sort of a feeling. And then the second house is your food, and so you need to take very, very good care of what you're eating, because what you eat may not sit well with you, and then might give you some digestion issues. So Pisces needs to take care of their food. And lastly, communication. So second house is your communication. You may get emotionally upset with your family, or there may be situations with your family, and then you may say stuff to them. So watch your communication very carefully. It may not be angry, it may be more emotional. So the moon doesn't give you angry communication, it gives you emotional communication. So you may say things when you're very emotional. You may say something to somebody that's going to hurt them emotionally, or you may be hurt emotionally yourself, because what you're saying or the relationship with family members may become emotionally disturbing. So watch what you're saying to people, kind of watch your communication. Definitely don't make any financial decisions at this time. Stay very, very pleasant with family members. Watch what you eat. Otherwise, it's a lunar eclipse. Time passes, it moves by quickly. But definitely don't ruin relationships because of some emotional issues at this time with your family members, especially children. Watch your relationship with children, especially because for Pisces, moon represents the fifth house, which is children. So don't start playing the emotional blackmailing with children. It might not go well. So watch your relationships with family, children, no financial decisions, and watch your food. This brings me to the end of my video. I appreciate your watching and supporting my channel. Stay tuned. I'll meet you on my next video.